Hello, it's Jay. It is my no ums video for number 12 for April the 2nd, 2022. And yes, been trucking along with these videos. I've done 12 of them, which is I think a celebration in itself of I set myself a goal to improve my vocal delivery, to try and reduce my ums and ahs, and to try and really do a focused continual effort on that. And a part of that being these no videos where I report in on my week and just sort of say, hey, how are things going? So how are things going? Well, number one, I've been doing my daily warming up exercises, the tongue twisters, the that kind of physical warming up of the muscle. It's I now as I think about it, I don't have as actually that much of a warm up schedule. It's mostly like going, and I could be doing a lot more on the warm up scale. I do take the dogs for a walk before I ever get in here, so I do get a little bit of physical moving around. I don't stumble in from being asleep or something. I don't stumble in from being asleep and then go straight into this. So there is that. But that's actually a thought, is to have a little bit more of the kind of the just muscle warm ups before I launch into tongue twisters and reading out poetry. At the moment it's reading out poetry, but reading text out of some sort to improve my enunciation as well as work on the no ums, which is still there. And I'm working on it, and I still do notice myself when I make ums, or like in this video, me using filler words like something or stuff. That still happens, but I'm slowly, hopefully, building that the John who stands back from my vocal performance and watches me do it and can hopefully start interjecting those little corrections before it comes out of my mouth. Make it so integrated that it's just a part of how I speak, and I edit out the filler words before they come out. Like, oh, you don't really need that something there, or stuff, or what could you say instead of stuff, and maybe take a pause to figure out which word would it be the most appropriate there to, and also give the listener a little bit more time to process what you're actually saying. Make it actually something, hey, maybe I'm saying something important here, and go from there. So yes, there's that. Number two, I've been doing vocal study videos, continuing to do those. This was a bit of a luff week. It was a motivational video and a series of exercises to help working on speech clarity, stuff like that, which I didn't find that useful. That said, I'm not going to find everything useful. I'm going to find some things that, like, wow, that really works for me. It's really helping me. And then there's other things that aren't going to do as well. I've mostly been focusing on Darren McStay and his Improve Your Voice channel for the last little bit. I should try and branch out, but I've actually had a fairly high hit rate with Darren McStay, which isn't to say that I shouldn't also go move on and find other people, hopefully people that, like Darren, are, they've got their shill. There is something that they are selling, which is perfectly fair, and I don't begrudge them for it. They have a service, and I don't begrudge them wanting to be paid for it. I just don't particularly have lots of spare cash going around, and hopefully if I ever do make any of this more public, I will give due credit, so maybe other people who do have cash and are interested in taking classes would benefit from someone like him. Not that I've taken any of his classes. I can't endorse that. I can only endorse the free stuff, the little crumbs that he leaves out, which are pretty powerful crumbs. One of those just being practice. That is probably the most powerful crumb. It reminds me of Steve Donahue on writing. It's like you have all these writing programs and stuff like that. The writing programs and seminars and you know, let's go to the Catskill Mountains and write in a cabin for a week. When it comes down to it, the greatest lesson from a writing standpoint, maybe not a networking standpoint, because networking is probably equally as important for a lot of this programs. It's not so much about what you learn, but who you get to know and then you rise up with in an industry. But the most important lesson you learn for writing is to write and to keep writing and to keep writing and to write more and to finish what you're writing. And I think there's something to be said about that in a lot of learning how to do things. So yes, vocal study is going well. Bit of a rough week, and maybe I will actually see if I can find someone other than Darren McStay to mix it up a bit. Don't get into a rut that way. Having different voices in the mix, just, you know, for how I'm feeling, different energy levels might be a very good. It's probably a good idea and will help lengthen my study. It's not going to be forever working on my vocal improvement, but it's going well so far. And I think if I did a year of this, that would probably be fine. Number 3, I think I am feeling more confident in my videos. I think there's less umming and ahhing. There's certainly a much more of an awareness of how I speak and some of the shortcomings of my speech. I'm still probably in that, I'm starting to learn enough to know about to realize how much I've been doing wrong, but that's not a bad thing. That's one of those first steps. So I'm definitely feeling more confident in my videos. And I think a part of what's making me more confident in my videos is to underline something that I knew already, which is I benefit a lot from preparation, of preparing my videos, of not scripting my videos, not coming up with every single point, but having a rough bullet points. For example, this video, I have 5 points that I want to hit. And I think that kind of a structure helps focus me. And a lot of this is a lot of learning how to speak effectively and in a way that isn't rambly and just really hard to kind of listen to, is to have that focus, is to develop that focus in how you speak. Will I need to have outlines for all the time that I am on BookTube? I do a waffle video, which I still have points for that, but I just don't have them in front of me. I think it's a helpful tool. It might be just one that I'll have to keep with me at all times, or maybe with like the help of a waffle video where I make a variety of bullet points, and if I hit some of them, that's fine. But if I don't hit them all, it's not the end of the world. That was actually a good lesson that I probably learned from my last waffle video last week. Was I came up with a variety of points, and then I found an appropriate location. I sat down and I talked. And I hit some of those points, and so on other points I didn't hit. I think it was one of these. I had a pool. I had like 1 to 5, and I hit 1 to 3, and that was perfect. That was more than enough. I felt like at that point, okay, I can get out. Which is some ways is the danger of an outline. You can make an outline which is great and focused, but you have to understand that each one of those points will probably take twice as long for you to talk about than you think it is going to. And you get halfway through the list, and if you've got the outline, you kind of look down and you think, I should really go on to my next point. Whereas if you're in the moment and you're just talking to the camera and you can kind of feel how long you've been going, you might just be like, you know what, this is a good place to stop, and stop there, which is something to think about for myself. Is like, can I just leave off these points? Or when I'm making an outline, try and really prune things back. Like, do I really need to talk about that? No. Do I really need to talk about that? No. Try and get to the things that are really important to you, because the longer you go, the more likely your really important points are going to get lost in a in a 30-minute talk, whereas if you have a 10-minute talk, you can get the things that you really are interested in out, and people are actually more liable to watch and to watch it all the way through. So yes, a couple of lessons there. I should actually note that other one down about the whole thing of outlines, how to make outlines shorter, how to deliver less points, but make the points that you deliver, the ones that are the most to make the ones that you do deliver have the most, express them as vigorously as possible. I do need, next point, number 4, if we're going to go by my outline, I do need to do more regular reviewing of videos where I talk. At the moment, that still really comes down to reviews. I before I published my review of The Emperor's Babe by Bernardine Evaristo. I got those names. Bernardine Evaristo last night. I watched the video, and that was good. That was a useful thing to do, to watch myself even on double speed deliver the video and see, like, okay, how are you doing? How is your speech going? Wasn't that bad? Wasn't that bad? I've, I think my reviews are always going to be a little bit loose and baggy. That's just going to be the nature. That's going to be my style. But there wasn't a whole ton of ums and ahs, and that was probably a review that I have now recorded a while ago from a book that I'd read a while ago. But I think it seemed to get the points across fairly well that I wanted to make. But I think I need to do more of that, and branch out from just looking at my reviews to videos like this, or God help me, my dark videos and stuff like that. I try and hold my feet to the fire and listen to myself and realize that it's not unleashing that critic, which I think that is the issue, is that I have a lot of self-doubt. I have a lot of anxiety about how I come across, and it can be crippling. It can make me want to shut up. And a part of the reason why I've been so attracted to the video form is it's something where you can record something and not have to really dwell with it for a long period of time, whereas in writing you can go through sentence by sentence again and again and again. You just, the nature of video and how I edit video, that's just not the case. That said, it would be really helpful to improve, to watch myself, probably watch myself on regular speed even, and learn more, because and to what I was saying earlier about learning to prepare and learning how outlines maybe make me go over long, those are really good lessons, and I really appreciate those lessons, and hopefully I can take them and learn and actually do the learning that the lesson part implies. And I should be excited to learn more stuff that I can. And there's nothing like watching yourself speak to really understand, okay, I do that, that's kind of annoying, or oh, I do that, that's not that effective, or I do that and I don't think I'm really communicating well there. I trail off, maybe I'm trailing off, or I'm not finishing a thought. And having that little step back is a valuable lesson. Okay, so there's that. Review more videos. I'll have to see what that looks like to me. Whether that's review one video of myself a day, that would be no trouble. I make so many videos a day, that would be quite easy to do. Whether that's reading a poem out, whether that's a dark video, whether that's a review or one of these report videos, that should be easy. So one video a day, watch one video a day of myself, gird myself and do that, and just be open and be excited that you'll get to improve. That's the best thing. And the final thing I would like to I that came as an idea as I was making this outline was to find find a booktuber who you think is really doing a good job and study their videos. Study like what video you think, wow, that really does a good job. Actually, I can think of one. Rick McDonald is a good example of somebody who reviews books and is really able to kind of put himself across in a very personable way. And it's not like, oh, I'm gonna become a Rick McDonald clone, but take a look at his videos and see if you can notice what he's doing. Like just kind of break down a video of his and see if you can figure out what he is doing and do maybe that would be the vocal video for the week, is to just do that. Or maybe I'll have a vocal video, but then I'll have a booktuber video where I talk about one of their videos and say, okay, what works here? And I mean, there's a part of it is just them being themselves. There's there's there. I'm in repeating mode. There is being just a charming motherfucker, which that's fine. But is there, look at the video and think, are there structural things that they do? Just notice. Just be open and notice and see if you can find something in there that you think, oh, that's something that I could do in my video. And that's not, have a boyishly handsome good looks and aw shucks and I want to be myself, but is there something in there structurally? Is there something in there technique wise that I could adapt to my own personality and use? So yeah, just as another way of trying to improve my vocal presentation. All right, that has been long enough. This has been my no ums video number 12. I've been Jay. More videos later.